Me and Moscú are here to do a basic juggling tutorial because a couple of people suggested that I do a juggling tutorial. Now, anyone who's been watching me knows that I'm pretty mediocre at juggling. Okay, so that was only 11 dongs to interrupt the beginning of that video, but I'm going to leave them in there anyway. So, I am going to give you a basic 3-ball juggling tutorial. Space right now. Okay, so juggling space. Make sure you have space around you and no piano right here and a stool right there and plants. It's fine. But if you want to learn to juggle, it's easier sometimes to choose something lighter and larger, but I'm going to start with juggling balls because I learned to juggle with juggling balls. I didn't start with scarves or with tissues or anything, so I think you can do it. As you've probably seen in many of my live streams, if you've seen them, you need to start with one. It seems very simple, but honestly, you kind of want to get to the stage where you can just throw consistently back and forward without focusing on what you're doing. And we're back. So throwing one ball back and forward consistently until you feel comfortable, that you don't have to look at it and you've got a kind of similar height. Similar distancing. And I think I've said this before to lots of people, but try and throw side to side as opposed to forward, because when you start to juggle with more balls, that's going to become useful. There is so much noise. I'm going to close the door. Once you feel pretty confident and you are able to just throw a ball back and forward without really having too much difficulty, you're not having to pay attention to the ball hugely, your hands are anticipating where it's going to be, then add in a second. Now the important thing when you're adding in a second ball is you need to throw them staggered. I kind of do it in a pattern of 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're exchanging one ball for the other. You're not throwing them at the same time. I think people have a tendency to try and throw them at the same time, and I can tell you now that just trying to do that is harder than what I'm actually trying to get you to do. So make sure you stagger them. If you need that 1, 2, 3 pattern, that can help. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, focus on trying to throw the balls sideways. Okay, somebody mentioned about having a vertical plane. That idea that it's running parallel to your body. They're going sideways. They're not going one in front of the other. That is definitely the tendency that people have when they first start to juggle, is to throw them one in front of the other. And by having your hands quite close together, what you're going to end up doing when you learn to 3-ball juggle is you're going to end up following the balls around the room. And anyone who's tried to juggle before anyway, you'll end up doing that and breaking stuff like I've just. But if you try when you're throwing 2 and you're practicing, really try and get them parallel to your body, you're going to help yourself when you start picking up the 3rd ball. So that's your stage 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Try starting with one hand. And again, you're going for consistency, comfort. The balls are basically going to the same area every time. Your hands are anticipating where they're going to be. You want to get each stage really comfortable before you start throwing in the next one, if you want to be able to do it smoothly. Once you feel comfortable throwing your staggered 2 balls, then go back the other way with the other hand. So start with the other hand. It will feel quite alien at first. It even feels slightly alien to me. I'm way more comfortable starting with my left for some reason. Then, once you feel that you can do that both ways, interchangeably, super comfortably, change it around. So 1, 2, I'm starting with my left hand, then my right hand, and I'm still staggering. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm changing the hand that I start with every time. There is so much noise right now. Okay, then you can kind of take out that gap in the middle if you want to. It'll just get that idea of that constant motion. I don't know if that'll be helpful to you, but you can try it and it looks kind of smooth as it is, even with 2 balls. So instead of throwing 1, 2, 3, and then the other way, as soon as the ball hits my hand, I'm just exchanging it for the other ball. I'm just throwing them back and forward in a kind of flowy, alternating motion, and it gets you into that place of throwing one under the other, which will lead you to that 3-ball cascade. Once you feel very confident that you're able to stagger, add in a 3rd ball. This might take you quite a long time to feel comfortable. It might take you a couple of days practicing each particular stage. Come back to the video over and over again. Once you pick up that 3rd ball, just try and do one single rotation, we'll call it, of the 3-ball cascade. So you're starting throwing with the hand that has 2 balls in it, okay? And you're doing exactly what you did with the 2-ball staggering, but with a 3rd ball in your hand. And you're not going to throw this 3rd ball just yet. So the 3rd ball, I don't even want you to throw it just yet. I just want you to get used to the idea of having that 3rd ball there and exchanging with the 3rd ball. So you get used to that idea of being able to hold 2 in one hand. Okay, so once you feel confident with that, you can try doing it the other way, I guess. Also, when I've been juggling on live streams, every time I drop a ball, somebody in the comments will be like, "Oh, you dropped it." Expect to drop it. Expect to drop it multiple times. Expect to throw it across the room. Expect to break things. Expect it, because if you don't drop it, you're not going to learn. So expect to drop it repeatedly. So once you've got that throwing back and forward, you've got your alternating, you've done stage 2, feeling a bit more confident holding 2 balls in one hand, try and do a single rotation, as I said. So 1, 2, 3. You're doing exactly that same exchange that you have done with the 2 balls, but you're just adding in that 3rd ball, and you just need to do it once. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You're just throwing that 3rd ball. As that 2nd ball approaches your hand, you're throwing. See if you can do that. Feel confident with that movement, because that's it. That's the whole thing. That is the 3-ball cascade mastered. So maybe try starting with the other hand as well. I did another rotation there as well, I can't help it. And now, actually, what I'm doing is I'm just going back and forward. Every time I've got 2 balls in my hand, I'm starting with that hand and I'm just trying to exchange them. Once you've got all of those stages, you're going to be able to practice just exchanging them. Expect it to be all over the place to begin with. Expect to not be able to do it. Expect to drop them, expect to move and be okay with it. Relax, put some chill music on. It's a process, but you will get there. Once you've practiced all those things, you will eventually be able to master a simple 3-ball cascade. The more you practice, the tighter you're going to be able to get it, the cleaner you can get it, and the less you have to focus on what you're doing, the easier it's going to be to introduce little variations on that and tricks. Throwing one under the other, throwing one over the top. Hey! And just playing around with some different things. So that's my tutorial. It's there may be other jugglers watching this, like that is definitely not the way to practice and that's not the way to learn, but that's how I learn and maybe it'll be useful to you. So have a go.